everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and happy Tuesday. Today I've got a video that I have been promising actually for quite some time, almost this time last year, not quite. It was a little further into the fall. But last year when I made my Farm Rio inspired dress, I'll pop a picture of it right here. I made it out of quilting cotton, out of calf facet actually, or cave facet fabrics, and I mix and matched the prints and all that kind of stuff, and had so many people asking me for a video on different patterns that you could make using quilting cottons, because there are some really beautiful prints out there, and I promised I would do one, and then I'm like, well, it's too late into the, we're kind of getting out of cotton season. I'll wait until the spring. Anyway, life just got away from me, so I apologize. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking you through 10 patterns 10 ideas, 10 patterns that you could use with quilting cottons, that you could sew up with quilting cottons. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about quilting cottons, and because these are just 10 patterns to give you an idea. There's a ton out there that you could use quilting cottons for. So we're going to talk a little bit about quilting cotton, the weight of quilting cotton, different words and patterns that could give you a hint that you can use quilting cotton and that sort of thing. Okay, so quilting cotton is typically, oh my gosh, the fly is back. I don't understand how it's still alive in here. Don't they die after a couple of days? I don't understand. Okay, I apologize for the fly. Hopefully he doesn't bother us. Anyway, quilting cottons. They come in a beautiful range of prints, of colors. There's some wonderful designers out there that are doing some really cool things with quilting cottons. They're just fun to shop for. And again, the prints a lot of times can just be, unlike other stuff that you can find in other apparel or in garment apparel fabrics. But it's cotton. It's 100%, quilting cottons are 100% cotton. So you can use them for garments. I know that they get kind of a bad rap, mostly because they're a little bit on the thicker side. So quilting cottons are cotton poplins. So anytime you see cotton poplin in a pattern, you can use quilting cotton. That's essentially what they are. So they're definitely heavier than a cotton lawn, a little heavier than a shirting, but not as heavy as like a bottom weight, like a cotton twill or a canvas or a cotton duck, something like that, which would be much heavier cottons. That being said, I think they get a bad rap because cotton is a very bodied fabric, meaning it doesn't fall in on itself. It holds its structure. So you need to use it appropriately. Otherwise, things don't have the drape that you may want in a lot of garments. Whereas because cotton lawn, for instance, also structured, but because it's so lightweight, it has more of a drape and a little bit more, it's not as bulky as a quilting cotton, for example. But anyway, so that's kind of why I think it's gotten a bad rap. But if you're someone that loves to wear a lot of pattern and or novelty things, novelty patterns, that sort of thing, quilting cotton is a really great option. So anytime you see in a pattern where you could use cotton shirting, cotton poplin, cotton broadcloth, even linen. Linen is also a very structured fabric, so a lot of times you can get away with substituting linen with like a quilting cotton. Those will all be appropriate patterns to use with quilting cotton. Just keep in mind that it is a little bit thicker. Now, the designer quilting cottons that you see a lot now are a little bit thinner, which I think helps make them more appropriate for apparel fabrics. So that's something to think about as well when you're shopping for your quilting cottons or going through your stash and going through your quilting cottons. Okay. Let's talk about 10 patterns that I have pulled that would totally work in quilting cotton. Now, I've pulled from 10 different pattern companies because I wanted to give you a wide range of pattern companies, and I've tried to pick a range of garment types that you could use quilting cotton for because, there's the obvious ones. I feel like using quilts in your sewing is very popular right now, like quilted coats, such as the Love Notions Coda or the Grain Line Tamarack, Quilted coats are very in. Obviously, you can use quilting cotton for that because you kind of make a quilt first and then turn it into a garment. So I tried not to be too obvious with things that you could use for quilting cottons, but also keep in mind, I wanted to give you a range of pattern companies as well. But for instance, we'll get to it, but in Itch to Stitch, I picked kind of a shift dress that would work fine in quilting cotton, work well in quilting cotton. Well, there's also a shift dress at Love Notions, but you know, so you keep looking around. So if I've picked a shift dress in this company, just know there's shift dresses in a lot of companies. So hopefully you can look at those and know, oh, I bet that would work for that as well. So hopefully that was kind of my intent, to give you a wide range so that you could then go forth and sew from all sorts of pattern companies and make all sorts of different patterns. So that was kind of my intent with this video, just to kind of give you an idea of things that you could use with quilting cotton. The other thing to keep in mind, most of the time, I would assume if you are using quilting cottons, you're using prints. That's kind of the appeal of them. Keep in mind, most quilting cottons are narrower. They are woven on a narrower loom, so they are usually within the 44 to 45 inch width. So that might mean that you need extra fabric. Also, if you're using patterns and it's a large scale pattern, you're going to want to match it. You're going to want to buy extra fabric, 10 to 15% extra, give or take, depending on how big. The bigger the pattern, the more extra you're going to want. So just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, just make sure that you're buying enough fabric for your purchases. For instance, I can make a button-up shirt out of 2 yards of fabric, but if I'm making a button-up shirt out of quilting cotton or something on a narrower width, I would buy 3. So there you go. Just make sure that you have enough. Okay, let's get going. All right, the first pattern that I wanted to highlight, because I just showed it to you, is the Pattern Emporium Take the Chance tiered dress. Now, typically, I would maybe steer clear of gathers with quilting cotton because it's just a little bit bulkier fabric. However, if you've got a little bit thinner weight quilting cotton, a little more garment, like the designer fabrics, such as K-Facet, I'm sure like the Cotton and Steel, Art Gallery, all of those, you know, the different designers, they have just a little bit thinner of their quilting cotton, a little bit finer. You can get away with some gathers. And the reason I used quilting cotton on this was 100% for the prints. I wanted something very loud. I was recreating a dress from Farm Rio where they had used very large scale prints in similar color families, but very color blocked, and that's kind of the look I was going for. I love this dress. It's my dopamine sewing or dopamine dressing for the winter and then into spring, fall into spring. It's a little warm to be wearing in the summer, but definitely through a little bit cooler months. Dead of winter, I can't really wear it, but in those transitional months, it's a really fun dress to wear. So that is the first one, and the reason that worked was I wanted a little bit more structure in that. It works great with button, plackets, collars, things where you want a little bit more structure. But I think it worked fine with the gathers as well, and was a lot of fun to play around with those bold prints. Also, my computer's next to me if you're wondering what I'm looking at. Got my list here. All right, number 2. The Cashmerette Upton Dress and Skirt. I've actually linked the expansion pack because an expansion pack has been released where you can get a few different necklines and sleeves. So you can get a sleeved bodice versus the sleeveless bodice, which was the original one. So it has both. And then you've got a few different skirt options as well that you can put onto that bodice, both darted and princess themed bodices. It's a fantastic, the expansion. If you're going to buy the Upton, buy the expansion pattern. It's just a really great fit and flare dress. Now, the reason quilting cotton is great for this is because you do want some structure. You want a nice fitted bodice. So you want the bodice to not collapse on itself. Well, you could use something with more drape like a rayon for this. It's going to give you a completely different look. In fact, on the website, one of the dresses with a longer sleeve, I think, is done in a rayon. It's just a little bit more drapey. You can definitely do that. But for the most part, if you're doing a fit and flare, you want that flare to be flared and the fitted to be fitted. So quilting cotton is great. And again, you can get a lot of really fun prints and designs that you can make novelty fit and flare dresses or just something really cute and fun. I bought another K-Facet fabric when I bought the crazy florals that has octopus, the plural of octopus. octopuses, I don't know, all over it. I meant to make that up this summer, and it's going to be in Upton. I just didn't get around to it. So we'll see. I mentioned before, I get in the mood to make summer dresses about February. So we'll see if those kind of get made up then. It's kind of my push towards warm weather. But that would be a great one for Quilting Cotton. All right, next up, the Love Notions Melody Dolman. Again, there's a few different patterns in Love Notions catalog you could make with Quilting Cotton. I just grabbed one, but button-up shirts are great. And this one is a button-up shirt. It's got a little tie front. I think adorable in any kind of print. In fact, I would bet a lot of the tester versions that they have up on the site, there's probably quite a few of those that were made up in a Quilting Cotton. So it would work fantastic in that, so you could get kind of a really fun almost a tropical shirt type feel out of that Melody Dolman if you wanted to, or any kind of print. But yeah, I would definitely do structured shirts, that sort of thing. And again, this isn't the only one in the catalog that you could use with Quilting Cotton. It was just the one I pulled for this video. All right, next up is Itch to Stitch, and it's the Itch to Stitch Celeste Dress. So for instance, Itch to Stitch also has a Dolman button-up shirt, the Nosara, just very similar to the Melody Dolman, and then the Love Notions has like the Cadence. You could definitely do the Cadence out of Quilting Cotton, and then Itch to Stitch has this one, which is the Celeste dress. I have made this, you're seeing it in linen, but it works. I've also made it in a denim shirting. I couldn't find a picture of that one, and that's the one I wear a ton. My denim, though it's just like in a denim shirting. Sorry about the fly. But it would work great in Quilting Cotton because it works great in a structured cotton fabric. I omit the zipper, the side zipper in this dress, so I can just pull it on and off over my head. And it works great, but it is a really fun dress pattern. It does have a little bit of gathers that are there, just right there under the bust, kind of on the sides. It's a really fun pattern to sew too. So it's taken a shift dress and kind of elevated it. I wear mine a ton. It's a really great pattern. So that would be another one that would be a lot of fun. Now, there are a lot of seams in that one, so if you're using a large scale print, you may not want to use a large scale print on it because you would want to print match. But if you're using something a little bit more abstract or very densely printed, like a floral that is, it could even be large scale, but if it's just very dense on there, so you don't have a lot of dead space around the motifs, if that makes sense, that works really well. You don't have to pattern match that as much. It reads more as a solid, even though it's a print. Okay, number 5, the Style Arc Bonnie skirt, Bonnie woven skirt. This is just an elastic waist skirt. So much fun in some different fabrics if you wanted to do different prints and that sort of thing. It would also be fun to do this novelty if you wanted to have like a Halloween themed skirt or Christmas themed skirt or, I don't know, Marvel superhero. You know, whatever it is, it would be a really quick little project, but also a lot of fun, and it would hold the structure well for that type of skirt as well. Okay, next up, the Closet Core Patterns Joe Dress and Jumpsuit. This has a very interesting sleeve on it. It's almost a lantern style sleeve, and so you want something with structure when you make this up. I think a printed jumpsuit would be so much fun, or the dress. You can make the dress version as well. I just think that that's kind of out of the box a little bit, and I also got sucked in, as if you've been watching the channel, stupid fly, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I'm getting ready to make a Closet Core Blanca flight suit out of a printed cotton sateen, because I saw someone else that made one in a print, and a shorts version, and it was just really fun. So I think that doing a jumpsuit in a fun print would be a lot of fun, but again, you could make it as the dress if you're more comfortable with that, but I think the Quilting Cotton would hold the shape of that sleeve really well. Number 7. Okay, this is a new pattern. This is the Pattern Scout Flora Tank and Dress. I have so had my eye on this. Now, the recommended fabrics for this, she does recommend rayon in there. I can't remember now what else, but linen is one of them. You could definitely do this in a Quilting Cotton. Now, because I think that would hold those pleats, those sewn down pleats slash tucks, whatever you want to call them, that go across the bust. It would hold that shape really, really well. I actually think that'd be very shifty on a rayon, but you know, whatever. But number one, I want to make this dress in a linen. I think it would be perfection. It comes in cup sizes and everything. I want to make this dress. We'll see if I get around to it this summer, but it'd be so much fun in a quilting cotton of some sort. Now, again, you are doing a lot of pleats across, so you don't want to do anything with a large scale print that has a lot of dead space because it would chop up that print a lot. But if you have a very densely printed fabric, it reads more as a solid, and I think that would be fine. It can be cool in a border print. You can find a lot of really cool border prints in quilting cotton as well. To where if you did like the solid at the top and then it had like the border or whatever down towards the bottom of the dress, that could be really cool. But I think that that pattern would work great with a quilting cotton. Next up, Know Me Patterns 2016. This is the dress that I made for my cousin's wedding. It's such a great pattern. There's a couple of different, like a shorter skirt with like a longer sleeve. I made the longer skirt on it with the shorter sleeve, but there are sleeve heads in that sleeve to give it poof to make sure that it stands up on itself. But that it's a great done. The pattern is really well done, but you want something that's going to hold that shape in those sleeves, whether you're doing the longer ones or the shorter ones. And I think a quilting cotton would be a lot of fun. Obviously, I used a larger scale print for my dress version. You could totally do the same thing with a quilting cotton and just, making sure that, you're not breaking up the print too much. There are some seam lines that get lost in my dress just because I do have a pattern, but such a good dress pattern. Highly recommend it. And I was thinking about it. I need to wear that dress more often only because it's not necessarily a fancy dress. Even though I wore it to a fancy event, I could totally wear that to like a date night or something like that and just change up the shoes a little bit. I just love that dress, love that color. I need to make the longer sleeves with the shorter skirt, I think. I think that's the next one that I need to do with that one, but it's a fabulous pattern, really well drafted, and I would highly recommend that one. Next, Simplicity 1538. This is a really great shirt pattern. I have made it up just once, but and I made mine in a silk with a little bit drapier, and I chose the view that kind of lent itself more to the drapier fabric, but it does have views that would lend themselves more to more structured fabric, like your cotton shirtings or your linens, and I think a quilting cotton would fall into that, just as well. Again, there's just some really cute prints that are out there with quilting, and if you want a fun shirt, you could even do your, the other thing about quilting cottons is a lot of times they come in a line, so you've got like, 4, 5, 6, whatever coordinating prints because they're meant to go into a gigantic quilt together. But you could find a coordinating fabric maybe from that line to do your cuffs, the inside of your cuffs. So when you have them rolled back, you get that really fun look of the contrast fabric that are there on the cuffs as opposed to the fabric that's on the rest. You could do that on your collar stand, on the underneath of your collar if you like to pop it. There's just a lot of fun playing around with some different design details, especially with the coordinating lines of the quilting cottons. All right, and then finally, I put on here the Lydia Naomi Meadow Overalls. I made my overalls out of a mid to lightweight or light to midweight linen. I think they would be fantastic in a quilting cotton. Again, a lot of really fun prints. Mine are gingham. You can find quilting cottons that are gingham, but you could do something a lot of fun, like a big floral pair of overalls. Like, how fun is that? I love that pattern. It's just a lot of fun to wear. I get compliments on it every time I've got them on. It's a really great pattern, and I think that could be a lot of fun in some of the crazier quilting prints that you have out there as well. So there you have it, guys. Those are ideas of 10 patterns that I would use to make, use with quilting cottons to make up some really fun, different pieces in your wardrobe. And that's the reason we sew, right, guys? It is to showcase our style, get a good fit on what we're wearing, but also just to be unique and to have special things in our closet that no one else has. So it's our superpower, and I think that using those quilting cottons is to our benefit. It gives us a little bit more to pull from as a garment sewist. All right, guys, hopefully that was helpful. Is there a certain pattern that you have made with quilting cotton that you love? Leave it down below and we can kind of see what other people have been making with their quilting cottons as well, and give us a little bit more of an idea of some other things that you could make with your quilting cottons. Okay, guys, that's all I have for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will be back again on Friday. Also, we're in the middle of the Style Arc Spencer Woven Pants Sew Along, so part 3 will be up on Sunday. Is that right? Yes. And then part 4 is lining the pants, which could work for any pant pattern that any trouser pattern that you're wanting to line. I show you how to do that. So it's a tutorial / part 4 of the sew along. The tutorial, or the sew along itself, is a total of 5 weeks. So yeah, we have a lot to look forward to on that side. All right, guys, that's all I have. I hope you have a great week. I hope you get some sewing in. If you are in this heat wave right now, I hope you are staying cool, and I will see you guys again on Friday. Bye.